Hey everybody, it's Teacher Tuesday, but this is actually Wednesday. I'm sorry. Little man is growing in here. I am 36 weeks and went to the doctor yesterday, and some things are happening, so hopefully we'll have a baby soon when he's healthy, as long as he's healthy. Supposedly showing 5 pounds, 9 ounces. We all know ultrasounds could be completely wrong. He doesn't feel big. I just feel big. But today we're going to be doing the Lowland Kids overalls. They have updated this pattern to include the shorty version, the shorts version, as well as the pants version that we've done previously. I am going to show you guys how to do the shorty version. Look at these little cute shorty cuffs. Overalls, they're so cute. I was going to show you guys how to do the buttonholes, but along the way my buttonhole foot was not liking this fabric, so I went ahead and did the grumettes. Sorry about that. This is French terry fabric, oatmeal French terry. I believe I got it a long time ago from Boho Fabrics. But any French terry will work, any fabric really will work with this. Super cute pattern. Just make sure you're using the interfacing, and I can't wait to put little man in this. But if you guys want to learn how to make this, just follow along with these steps. Alright, so the pattern pieces that you need, this is the new updated version of the Lowland Kids overalls. And so if you've already purchased this pattern when we previously did the pants, go ahead and re-download this pattern in your account with Lowland Kids, and it should now include the shorties and then also shorts that should be about right here, and then the pants as well. So we're going to do the shorties version today. So you'll need this piece right here. We're going to do the knotted front. You will need to cut 2. I like to cut 4 because I do the fully lined version. So I'm going to cut 4 of these, just like this, cut on a fold. And then I'm going to cut 4 of the knotted front straps. This piece right here, and notice the grain line goes this way, which is a little different. It's so that the stretch doesn't make the straps super stretchy. And then the shorty bands, since we're doing the shorty version, if you do the shorts version, you'll just hem those, but if you do the shorty version, you need the bands. Okay, and then you'll just need to cut your interfacing for the straps. You'll need 2 interfacing pieces for the straps, and then you'll need a tiny square piece, 2 square pieces for where you're going to put either the grumettes or the buttonholes. All right. Okay, so now I have my 2 interface squares to go here and here that I'll iron on. You'll need 4 of these. I've cut 4 of those. These are the shorty bands, so I've cut 2 of those and making sure the stretch is going this way. I've cut my 4 straps, the knotted front straps. The stretch is going this way, the grain line is going this way, and then I have my 2 interfacing that will go on the straps. Okay, so let's get started. So to get started, you're going to take one of these and flip it over like this, because you want your interfacing. Let's go ahead and get our interfacing iron on. Your interfacing to go on the wrong side of one of these pieces. Okay, so I'm going to put my interfacing there, and then I'm going to turn my straps over, 2 of my straps here, and same thing. You want your interfacing to go right or on the wrong side of 2 of your straps. All right, and then you'll just iron those on right there, right there, right there, and right there. And I'll iron those on. I'll be right back. You're gonna iron your interfacing on. I've got these right sides together already. This one you're gonna leave. The one with the iron interfacing, you cannot go ahead and put right sides together like this. But you're gonna have to put the straps on this one. So leave this one kind of open. All right, so right sides together. I've got the ironed on interfacing for my strap here on the wrong side, and so I've put my straps right sides together. I'm going to leave the one short edge open, and I'm going to sew or serge both long edges of the 2 straps and 1 short edge. Cuffs I've got prepared like the hamburger hot dog, folded it hamburger style like this, and then I folded it hot dog style, 1 minute, like this. I've done that with both cuffs here, so I'm going to go ahead and serge that. Once I get the straps, I can go ahead and add them into here, because before you do this straight part here together, you want to make sure that your straps are in there. So I'm going to go do that, and I'll be right back to show you how to place those straps in here before we sew these pieces. Okay, so I've got my straps here, and as you can see, I serged the edge here, both long edges, and I left this bottom short edge open. And so what you'll do then is, if you have something pointy, like there's actual things that can turn tubes, but I like to use cutlery kit, and this is the knife sharpener. This is what I like to use to turn my tubes here. You'll just kind of separate the 2 fabrics here And then, let's see here, you can kind of create a pocket, and then you'll just push that down like so, and push it down like this, and then kind of push those points out here with this. The point turner is a little bit more pointy, I think, but then you'll just flip it, and there's your strap. And you can choose to top stitch this down. I'm going to, just because I think it looks better. And I'll do that with my sewing machine, just top stitch it down. And then do the same thing with this one. Now that I got the hang of it, it's a little bit more easy. And then you'll just push it down. Again, try to push your corners out as best as possible. Boom, boom. Alright, so we got our straps, and I'm just going to go top stitch those down, which just means I'm going to make sure that seam is as close to the edge there, and just top stitch about a 1/8 away from the edge. And then here are the cuffs that I did, and I've already snipped my 2 points opposite from this seam, and I'm just going to flip them out so you can see what they look like. And we'll apply these just like bummy cuffs as soon as we get done with the bottom part here. Same thing with this one, snip those 2 points opposite from the seam. And if you need a quarter, which means do more than 2 points, you need to do 4 points, absolutely do that. 2 points is all I need, but if you still haven't mastered that yet, absolutely quarter, no shame. All right, so I'm gonna go top stitch these down, and then I'll show you what they look like when you put them in here. I haven't sewn this, and I haven't sewn this yet. All right, so I got my strap top stitched down. That's what it looks like on either side. All right, and so the one with the interfacing, you will just put right sides together like normal, and you'll serge or sew right here all the way to here. And then the one without the interfacing is the one that we're gonna add the straps into. And so what you'll do is that edge that you left open, this is the sewn edge, this is the open edge. You're gonna put it 1/4 inch away from the side here. Same thing on this side, 1/4 inch away from the sides. And then you're just gonna pin it. I like to put a pin right here so I know that it's not gonna get caught while I'm sewing, just to kind of keep those together on the inside here. Just to secure those down. And then what you'll do is you'll put this right sides together here, matching up the swoop to this swoop. And then that's when I put another pin in on top to keep it where it needs to be. And of course this one will be removed as I sew. Just kind of keeps that strap from moving under here, and making sure that I maintain that 1/4 inch away from that edge there. All right. Go ahead and get these together, and I'll bring you guys with me this time, okay? All right, so we're at the serger, and I've got the piece, goodness, with the interfacing here. And so I'm just going to serge that swoop to the straight top part to the swoop here. And I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, which I used with everything else as well. And I like to do my swoops first, and then I go back over and do that straight edge. And then I'll do the straight edge at the top here. Alright, and you can tuck these little tails if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and do it just for added security here. Tuck those in just so they never come unraveled, because they'll be inside. So there's really no way to fix it once you sew this garment right sides together. if those ever do come undone. So I'm just going to snip it for added security, or tuck it for added security. All right, so that one's done. That's what we did. We're doing the exact same thing with the other one. We just got to be mindful that the straps are in there now. So, got the swoop. I'm going to do my swoops first. Again, just be mindful the straps are in there because you don't want to get them caught in the seam. One right here, I'm probably going to have to remove this pin. And if your straps do wiggle just a little bit, just realign them before you put them back in here, like this. And you're doing the other quarter edge, or the other swooped edge, I'm sorry. And then now we know to do the top edge here where the straps are. So you just want to make sure that your straps are still at the top here so that when you do the seam, that they will be caught in it. That's the purpose. So you want these straps to be attached. All right. And again, I'm going to tuck these little tails here, so I'm not going to cut them too short, just enough that I can tuck them back into the fabric here, so they can never become an issue. They may never, but just peace of mind, knowing that they will never become an issue. All right. And then you missed that one. This one here. Okay. So now that is done, and I'm going to flip these right sides out. And I'm going to remove those pins that I had in this one, and then the two that I had in the straps so that I don't stab myself with those. All right, and then you'll flip these out. And then that's what the straps look like when they're on there. And then that's what the little swoop looks like there. Okay, so what you're gonna do now, you're gonna do the same thing with the other piece here. Flip it right sides out. And kind of poke those corners out. Since we didn't have straps, you gotta poke those corners out. If you use snippers, don't stab your fabric. Just gonna poke those out a little bit better on this bib front here. All right, try to scoot this over so you guys can see exactly what I am doing. Okay, so this is the one without the straps. So I'm gonna lay it like this. So I've kind of got it open. Let's see. Yeah, it's like the bib part is right here, and this is the one without the straps. So I've got it open. These are the side seams here. Side seam, and the bib kind of is in the middle. And the crotch is right here, and there's a crotch right here, okay? So then now, I'm gonna do the exact same thing with this one. The straps are gonna go kind of in the middle here. I'm gonna just kind of put those in the middle, and then I'm going to match up right sides together, these side seams here. These side seams, see what I did there? So the bib part is kind of like in the middle, and these side seams are going to be like this. Okay? And I'm going to do both side seams here. I'm going to just serge or zigzag stitch, like I said, down that entire edge here, making sure that that middle seam matches up. And take care not to grab those straps too, because you don't want them to get in this seam either. All right, same thing on the other side here. Side seams all the way down the side here. Right sides together. And side seam and side seam, so that's how it was. And then you can sew your crotch together here, and then your crotch together on the other side. And then same thing on the other side here. Crotch. All right, and then you'll just have to flip it out like so and kind of push it into the other one here and make that crotch line up so that that crotch seam is enclosed. So now both crotch seams are touching each other, and this is the cuff opening. So what I like to do before I do anything is go ahead and make sure that my seams, the side seam, is laying flat. So I'm going to just make sure that this seam is going the same way, because that makes sure that this seam is not super bulky, and it makes it really easy to do my cuff on it. So I just make sure both seams are going the same way here, and I'm going to pin it. I'm going to do the same thing with the crotch and the other side. This is an extra measure. You don't have to do this. It's completely optional. I just do it because I feel like it gives the garment a good finish. So I just did the same thing with the crotch here. This side of the crotch, and then this side of the crotch, you want it to go the same way that you just pinned it. And then this other side seam here, you want to just make sure that you got them going both the same way. So that makes this really a nice seam here, and that the side's not super bulky. All right, so then this is what it looks like. This is the point we're at. So it's just missing the cuffs and buttonholes. Okay, so you decide if you want your seam to go on the outer edge or the crotch edge. And I'm going to put mine on the crotch edge just because even the most perfect people don't line this up perfectly. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm just going to prepare myself just in case it doesn't and put it on the crotch. And so what I'm going to do is, so now since this is inside out, it really doesn't matter which side you put them in, but whatever side you put the cuffs in, if you put them in, that's going to become the wrong side. So I'm going to just go ahead and put them in because it's kind of reversible up until this point. If you were to do the shorts, you could make it reversible. You could really make it reversible this way if you were to kind of tuck your cuff in that area. But I'm not going to do that. And this area is going to get really bulky, the crotch area. So just keep that in mind. All right, so then I'm going to match this up. I'm going to remove this pin so I don't forget about it. Take it out of my mouth so I can continue talking. And then I'm going to match up my point of my cuff to that point on the side there. And I'm going to just put it in here and sew around. And again, I'm using French terry, so it could be a little bulky depending on what type of fabric you're using. Just make sure you're getting all 4 raw edges. So the 2 raw edges of the actual opening and the 2 raw edges of that cuff now. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. And just make sure you're removing the pins. If you have more than one, just make sure you're removing it as you go before you go over it, because you can dull your knife real quick. Thankfully, it just went right over that area. And then I'm just going to overlap. Pull it out, cut my tail kind of long, and then just tuck it. All right. And then we have our cuff. Just like that. Super cute little thing. And then we'll do the other one, same way. And I'm going to use one pin. Match my crotch seam up here. I'll put it inside the garment like this. Pinning it. And then I'm going to go to my opposite side here, to the side seam with that point that I snipped on my cuff. I'm going to remove this pin so that I don't forget about it. Put it just underneath my blade here. And then once I get it going, I can then move my fabric around to make sure that all 4 edges are lining up. You don't want to stretch this too much, just enough so that all 4 edges are laying flat. Remove any pins as you go. So I have one pin in here. I'm going to remove that. And then hopefully this side will be just as easy as that other side. Yep, just as easy. Awesome. I think I am going to top stitch my cuffs down just because I can. Overlap. Alright. Come out. Tuck your tail. Lord, I broke my nitpicker here. It's my favorite one, too. That's why I say get a ton of these, but I just hot glue them back in. Alright. And now our cuffs are done, and this is what it looks like. Let's see. Flip it right side out. Here, I say the lineup of those seams are pretty good. All right, so flip this out, and this is the cutest little pair of shorties that I can't wait for my little man to wear. Okay, so this is what it looks like. My belly's kind of making this not look as cute. All right, so those are the shorties, and then we're gonna add the buttonholes, and then the little straps will come right here. I'm going to go ahead and top stitch these down off camera, and then I'll go over to my sewing machine to show you guys how I'm going to do the buttonholes. Alright, well guys, I was going to show you how to do buttonholes, but my buttonhole thing is being crazy. It's starting to make me frustrated, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys how to do the grommet. So the same spot where I'm doing the buttons, of course you wouldn't probably mark as much as I did, but thankfully that will come out in the washing machine. I'm just going to make a tiny snip right here, and then I'm going to make sure that it goes through both sides, and then I'm going to make sure that I cut up that just a little bit, and then I'm going to stretch that hole to fit my grommet. Same thing on this side. This fabric just didn't like my buttonhole foot, so grommets it is. It's what I typically do anyway, but I was going to try to show you guys how to do the buttonhole foot, but it's just not liking this fabric at all, so sorry guys. Alright, and before you cut too much, just make sure that you wiggle it around, and then what you're going to do, alright, you'll need a mallet, this little thing and this little thing, and I just use my snippers. It does come with this thing too where you cut the hole out. I don't really use that. It doesn't really work good for me. So I like to flip it over to the wrong side. So this is the inside of the garment, and which means that this part is going to be the right side, so the one that actually has the grommet part, the long part here. You basically just stretch that hole around, and then you grab one of these parts and put it on top of it. You put this on top of that, and then you'll just hit this mallet hard, or hit the thing hard until it folds over the edge there. And that's what the outside looks like, that's what the inside looks like. I'll do that, the same thing for this side. Just make sure that the hole is big enough. If not, you just cut it a little bit more. It's better to have to cut a little bit more than to have cut too much. Again, then put that down, put this on it like this, and then just, and that should fold the edges down just like that. And of course, when I wash this, my pin marks will go away. I had prepared for buttonholes and it just didn't work. So let me go ahead and put the knot in. So then what that looks like is you pinch the strap here, pinch it in, and put it in the buttonhole, or the grommet here. Same thing with this one. And then you'll just tie a little knot on the end here. And then I like to just kind of finesse it. Don't tie your knot too tight because you may have to get these undone. Alright. And then you'll just wiggle it till you get it to your liking. And then that's what they look like. They're super cute. Alright, so these cute little things are done, and they are the cutest little shorty overalls. I'm so excited to put little man in them. But that's what they look like, and you can just pair like a t-shirt underneath, or just naked, whatever. Not naked, you know what I mean, diaper at least, but just showing some muscle, or a little t-shirt or onesie underneath. They're so cute though, and that's how you do it. Wish my buttonhole foot was working with this fabric, it just was not, so I went ahead and just did grommets. But there is an actual hack where you do the knots and you do snaps right here above the knot, and then instead of having any kind of hole or buttonhole in your this part, body part, that you would just have the snap. So that's pretty cool too. I didn't do that. I just did the grommets. Super cute. Super excited with how these turned out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.